So, yes, last we left off, the party had just managed to make their way into the city of Zhong, which is a strange city, to say the least. It is not some kind of conglomerate of buildings and land ownership as many other places would be defined. Instead, it is a community, a massive one, living in a wide, sprawling jungle. Nothing is made the connection with wildlife more obvious than the numerous beasts that roam the land uninhibited. Many people passing by, treating them less as pets, but not exactly equals. Still simple animals. Birds sing gentle lullabies, and others let out piercing shrieks. And the entire land looks beautiful in its own way, rather than a sculpted one. One that has appeared spontaneously from the very earth itself. Athos, you have managed to catch up to the group, finding them easily enough. Now, was there anything you wish to do while in the city?
Is there any stops that we want to make? That was just a question out to everybody.
I assumed, yeah.
Not particularly. I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, if everybody's happy to, you can simply move along through the city.
Do we want to sell some of the stuff, actually? I know, Lynn, I think you were writing down the loot.
I think I wrote down some of it as well.
Yeah, in the chat there should be some stuff.
Yes. Do you guys want to keep any of that? I think the robe went to Balder. I remember.
The robe went to Balder, but great clubs, hide armor are a no for me. The scrolls we definitely want to keep. But the long sword definitely can get sold. And then Cattell probably wants to look at that strange blood vial and see what that is.
Yeah.
Will you finally pass the relevant craft alchemy check? That is the question we must ask ourselves. You really can't roll well in this blood vial, can you? I can tell you look it over again and again, day after day. You just can't seem to figure out what this is. You know it's blood. It's some kind of blood vial. But from what creature, you don't know what it does. You're uncertain of.
I am stumped. I do not know.
Well, we probably should hold on to it. I mean, creatures don't just have a blood vial and, no big deal.
They might. Maybe the ogres here like carrying around vials of blood. Maybe it's fashionable for them.
Well, let's err on the side of caution and assume it's important.
Anyway. Yes. While you're in the city, you can sell off most things with relative ease. Though something that does keep you a bit surprised is they are willing to trade coin for these kinds of items, but most people don't seem to be buying or selling food or clothing, typically. Most of it seems like...
Is it like a commune sort of like atmosphere? Like,
it definitely feels like that. There's a lot of general trading going on, but many people simply come by, take what they need, and move along.
well, that's nice. If we need something, we can offer services. But I think for the moment, we just want to see if we can get some coin for the extra stuff that we have, and then go closer towards the spire. Unless anybody wants to do anything specifically, we have time for side trips. Not on a time crunch anymore.
They didn't mention that this was a holy city. Perhaps we should visit what temples they have here.
Is it a holy city? I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that.
It is considered one of the 3 holy cities. That each of them surrounds Paradise Lake, and while Zhong is the furthest from the spire, it is still considered a holy city.
Oh, okay, then yeah, absolutely want to go check out relevant religious sites. That's my B.
That's
no
fine.
taking,
Do not worry. That was also part of the reason why Atlas was not allowed to bring the demonic horse in. Oh goodness. Anyway, yes. You are welcome to go ahead and you explore the city. If you do have anything you guys want to sell off, the city has a high purchase limit. Zhong is the one that does the most trading with the outside areas, as you find out.
Yeah, let's sell some of our stuff if possible.
Alrighty. Chuck down what you guys are selling, and I'll tell you if anything's out of the realm of possibility. But I think you guys have everything. It's fine. Everything you do have is fine.
I believe Lynn already did in loot, and we were selling the longsword as well, right? Yeah, thanks, Lynn.
I think we have some stuff left over from the siege as well.
True.
I don't think I took down the loot on that.
I did. So...
Yes. I do remember. I do remember that.
Alright. That is that much extra.
I think Lynn took one of the magical longbows that we got as well.
Maybe?
I think I was supposed to. I don't think I actually added it to my sheet, but,
Okay, then you can have it now.
I was in my notes somewhere. My millions and millions of notes.
Good luck.
Thanks.
You've done this to yourself. Alright, great close.
And was the Eye of Amulet that we got just a gem?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The Eye of Amalur.
Good question. I'm trying to remember. I put that down in my own notes. Oh, was it Iron Lamella?
Yeah.
That's a set of armor. Sorry, not a gem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is a set of heavy armor.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that mixed up. So it's actually...
Thank you.
Alrighty. Yep, so that's that. $80, 640. $89. Yep, it is. Alright. Do you have what the description of the magical longbow is? Or is it just magic longbow?
I think this was just a, +1.
Okay.
Good one we gave to Lynn.
Yeah, that was. I have that one.
Oh, okay, so we're not selling that one then.
Yeah, that one we're keeping.
Okay then. Cool. I just need to know because I'm calculating money from everything.
For sure.
Alright. Are you selling the gun?
No,
No.
not here.
No.
I want to get
gun?
rid of it, but it would be more valuable elsewhere.
At the moment, the gun is with Cattell.
I promise to only use it when absolutely necessary.
Very first combat.
Look, man. It targets touch AC. Touch AC is very low on dragons. Who knows when that could be relevant? Alright. Cool. If that is the case,
Yes.
then...
Yes to what you just wrote. I forgot that we had a potion of Cat's Grace.
Excluding Lynn stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. I would like to thank whoever the shopkeeper is.
Oh, you sold this to various people around the place, really? Couple of
And I
us
said thank
take
you
off.
multiple times.
Nah, that's all good.
Okay, how do we want to divide this up? Do we want to go quarter for everything, or
Petty Funds is a bit spiced, so in 5 then?
I'm sorry, how much do you want for party funds?
Just a 20%.
That's not a bad number, but
It leaves
That's
us
what-
everyone with 1,333.
yeah, that's how much percent into the party funds.
Yep, and everyone gets us the same.
Oh right, yeah, that's how fifths work. Sorry.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize what you meant, and then, sorry, I apologize.
Guys, this is why I'm
Live
the
on?
accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of times that you have said, "What is this very simple mathematic equation?" and I've had to answer it over your shoulder, though.
Don't worry. I know the feeling. Sometimes it's easier to do random bits of algebra than it is to actually solve anything. And sometimes the complete opposite. Simple addition, man. It's scary. Alrighty. Cool. That is that. And I assume that's all you really want to be selling?
Yes. Unless anybody wants, like, drawings that I would have made on the road.
I mean, if you want to, you could attempt to sell some stuff off.
I'll think about it for next time, is what I'll do.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll think about it later.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to look around at anything, though, when it comes to artistic pursuits, there's actually a fair few paintings around the place. Most seem to be of natural landscapes, many of the spire in the distance, a sight that you can see from the city quite frequently. Others, the Great Lake, supposedly nearby, as well as icy tundra beyond the city, and the melding of jungle and taiga, one hand in hand together. Then there's also others of the various animals which inhabit this place, from tigers to wolves to simple rats and colourful birds. These are the most common out of all of the paintings that you see.
Okay.
Alrighty. The party continues to move through the city. You move about and come across a couple different temples along the way. Each of them seems not so grandiose as you may expect for a holy city. Many of them are simple, minor affairs. Some are just small shrines outside of other larger temples. One which borders the outskirts of the city is a temple to Phrygus. It is coated in a constant sheen of snow and ice, standing distinct from the rest of the surrounding area. You move about and see in one of the similar kinds of areas of melding jungle and frost is a shrine you've seen before, though different. You recall Jekko and the Imperial Lord you found there.
Is there anybody at this shrine?
There is someone currently, yes. They look to be a Asimar with a few bird-like features. They have a crown of feathers upon their head.
And it's pretty clearly a shrine to Quan.
Yes.
That may be worth checking into later. Or now, depending on how everybody wants to, what everybody wants to do. Athos, do you want to go? Is there a? I can't imagine there'd be a temple to the to your god specifically, but
God of the hunt.
The final hunt, yes.
Final hunt.
There is not a temple directly to him here.
can't imagine. But I can show you to a temple to Paradise if you'd like. That's not too out of your wheelhouse.
Always worth to pay respects to the gods, even if you don't follow them.
I agree. So maybe we'll go to Quan later, but I can show Athos at least to. I assume it's pretty easy to find a temple to the Unasked Kindness.
Yes, there is a single one within the city. But it is definitely a large one, which encompasses many other smaller shrines surrounding it.
I assume inside this larger temple that has shrines inside it is a shrine to Bonham.
There is indeed one there, yes.
Okay.
It follows much of the same thematic design as you remember back up north. Not in Anatharius, but in Yondao, which it depicts Banhang and the Unasked Kindness together, but not in equal. I'm sorry, I said the wrong way. In Anatharius, not Yondao. Sorry.
Got it.
But yes, there is numerous priests in the area tending to themselves and others, and many shrines to other deities lay in the area.
The little knowledge that I do have of some of the deities that are connected to the Unasked Kindness, do I see any deities that may be close to what Athos would normally pray to, like a god of a regular, not final hunt?
Yes, there is one god that stands out as potentially relevant. You passed by their area earlier in an individual temple, but there's a shrine to Fragus here, who is a god of, Imperial Lord of the cold, frozen wilderness, and survival.
Okay. I will describe that to Athos then, and just be like, this is an option?
Sure, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, you wander over. There's any particular priests here, but you look over and it speaks of the tenets of Fragus, which involves traveling the world, especially across the frozen tundra, and seeking out new experiences, surviving in the harshest of environments, and teaching others to do the same, so they may endure any task that may come upon them.
I'll just leave Athos there then, if he wants some time.
Certainly. I'll go talk to whatever priest is around there.
Yeah, you can find a priest not of the god, but somebody else easily enough that looks like they can give you some kind of information. Greetings. How may I assist you today?
I am in the town for various businesses and thought I would stop by here.
Well,
Which god is this a temple of?
this is a temple to all of the Imperial Lords of Paradise. Though, technically, it is a temple to the Anna's kindness first. If there's any Imperial Lords that you wish to pay reverence to, I'd be glad to offer you my guidance and assistance.
Not directly, but I do wish to, observe your rituals if you do not mind.
Please.
I do follow another god. But it is always good to at least pay your respects to others and observe their habits.
Understandable. Well, I hope our teachings can be enlightening to you. Alrighty. The priest goes ahead and starts kneeling before various shrines and offering up prayers all the while. Many of them speak to the idea of freedom, and as you look around, you recognize that a lot of the priests here aren't bound to a single Imperial Lord which they worship, instead offering reverence to numerous ones which seem to resonate deeply with them. But yes, the most common deities you can see around the place are ones in worship to nature, the arts, plants, animals, travel, and whimsy.
I just take a seat and observe him for a little bit.
You sit down and watch. Nvidia, what are you doing in the meanwhile?
He just walked away.
Well, we can go to somebody else while we wait. Lynn Cattell, what are you doing here?
Hop back on. Okay. Guess Cattell would be journaling. Just kind of documenting the events that unfolded recently. I don't know. She's just kind of anxious to go see the spire, so it's like top of her list lately. So she's just kind of hanging back a bit.
Oh, good. You write down in your journal, and while you do so, you feel something a little bit off. You look behind you, and there's a Feelnid man in priestly garments watching over your shoulder. He smiles down at you.
Hello, can I help you?
Oh, no, worry not. I was simply curious what you were doing.
Oh, private womanly matters, I suppose.
Oh, I will not interrupt. You seem anxious, I would say.
I mean, one could say that, yes.
Oh, if you wish for any assistance in the temple, I would be glad to offer it.
I appreciate the offer. I will come to you if I ever need help.
But of course, do enjoy yourself in the city and the temple. Don't let small things cloud your thoughts and worry your mind. This is a place of joy and wonder.
Can I insight check? He wasn't, like, suspicious, right?
You can sense motive him, yeah, go ahead. He didn't seem suspicious. He seemed pretty genuine in his words there.
Okay.
Just being a bit overly friendly, it would seem. Alright.
Okay.
Lynn, what are you doing while you're here?
Lynn will glance over to Cattell and say, "Was he coming on to you?"
Oh, I don't think so, no.
I don't think we need another person in this party right now, so, you know. Other than that, Lynn will just kind of chill over by the Shrine to Banhong and just kind of chill and think and stare.
Okay.
And kind of pay attention to the party, but mostly just stand there and look at the shrine and think.
Alrighty.
I have incense if you want it. Sorry if I missed anything. My headset went out and I had to go grab another one.
You mentioned somebody flirting with Cattell, but that's about it.
No, that's actually the part I came back for.
Alrighty. NVIDIA, what are you doing then?
After walking away from Athos, I am making my way to whatever, like the actual main temple area to the unasked kindnesses so that I could go pray over there.
Alrighty. You head over and find yourself before the dedicated shrine to the Asked Kindness. What stands out about this area more than any of the others is this particular portion of the place has no roof, and resting up above, encircling around the hole that was here, which lets the light shine through, are butterflies, a kaleidoscope of the beautiful creatures illuminated by the sun.
That's nice.
Yes. You find yourself before the shrine, in one of the holy cities to this god. You feel a deep connection here. A sense of rightness, and you aren't sure. Something stirs deep within.
Well, something feels right and something stirs deep within, or
Something right
it
and
feels right, but then
It feels right, and something else stirs deep within.
just making sure.
No, you're okay.
Still got a
I
little
understand.
PTSD. In that case, I'll reach out my consciousness in whatever way that is like, as I'm praying, and just sort of ask for guidance over what is next. I'm going to pray. I came here and in the direction of the spire to sort of understand and find out what comes next for me, and how could I serve the will of you that got me through everything that I've been through the best. I know that I struggle so much with your teachings and ways of living, but I know that despite that, I can help others. And I'm just looking for what's next and where you need me.
Alright. You think upon these thoughts, and you don't hear any words back, but you do feel something in your mind. You see a temple similar to this one, but much smaller. It rests upon the side of the spire, toward its base, but higher than most, and not within the city itself. You feel that place call to you. Perhaps there is more guidance there.
Okay. I'm not doing much else then other than just sort of relaxing in this feeling and, almost meditating at this point.
You fall into a sort of trance, and it's hard to really focus. You can tell the life in the air doesn't wish for stillness. There's this feeling of restlessness, but not one that is wholly unwelcome.
Sorry, I keep on hitting the wrong button. I go restlessness to... I hit like 3 wrong buttons all around my actual push talk button. Like a restlessness to continue on sort of feeling.
Not as if there's any rush to keep moving, but as if this place itself never sits still. As if the world around you is constantly moving, and you need to embrace the feelings of change and wonder.
Got it. Okay. I guess I'll try to keep an ear out for the rest of my companions for when they're sort of like ready to go and I'm not holding them back, and then I can leave with them.
Oh, good. Alrighty. So, that is up to the rest of the party. When is everyone happy to move along, or is there anything else people would like to be doing while they're here? Feels like a no.
Yep.
Alrighty. Yes. Everyone gathers their things and prepares to leave. As you all head on out, you see that night is beginning to fall. Many people move off in one particular direction. They seem excited about something. What shall you do?
Should we follow the general hubbub?
I don't think it would hurt. I mean, if night's falling, we may want to spend a night in the city anyway. If there's anybody walking in our vicinity, I'm gonna sort of like try to like get their attention quickly and be like, "Oh, where's everybody going? Is there an event going on somewhere?" I'm sorry to ask. We're travelers.
Oh, it's fine. Please, come along. It's the most wonderful thing. It never gets old seeing it. Where everyone's going to be heading out to the lake. You should come along.
Okay. I mean, look at everybody. Does that sound good to everybody here?
I mean, we have nothing else to do.
All right.
Acceptable.
All right. Let's head to the lake.
Alrighty. You follow along with the crowd, and you see the lake in the distance. You know it to be Paradise Lake, a massive body of water which stands in the middle of each of the 3 holy cities, and the water flows from the spire itself. You've passed by one of the rivers that it leads out through, heading off towards the ocean. But now you can see the whole thing, and everyone crowds around. Various folk are eating fruits and petting the animals that are beside them. Most of the boats in the middle of the lake seem to move off to the side, many docking nearby on the shore. As the sun begins to fall beneath the trees, you can see the lake glimmer in beautiful shades of orange and red, reflecting beautifully upon the surrounding landscape. Several people paint pictures of the sight. And the swirling colours in the middle of the lake feel almost inspiring to look upon. Soon, the sun begins to set, and the moon races high into the sky. And the scene changes. All new, with the stars reflecting upon the surface instead. A gentle white light, mixing with the darkness of the night. A magical sight to behold, but no arcane or divine trickery required. Many of the people here simply gaze upon the area for hours, simply watching the sight before them. Alrighty. And that is that.
All right. That was very cool. Is it... I'm sorry, it faded?
Oh! Sorry, in what way?
I caught like part of that, and then like it went out a little bit, and I caught the other part of it, and I was just making sure like it stopped or...
Yes, I stopped with my description.
Okay.
Now people are just kind of watching the gentle moonlight on the lake.
And so you said the river comes directly from the spire?
Yes, it does.
Cattell is going to take a vial of the water, just because.
Yeah. That's fine.
Some magic water. Divine magic water.
It's the ultra divine water.
Is it holy water?
You don't know. It would require some kind of testing. But no one seems to stop Cattell as she gathers up a vial of the stuff.
Mm-hmm. And video would just be relaxing and watching.
Alrighty. Now what of everyone else?
Well, we'll just sit and watch and continue thinking about the fact that she's becoming religious after never believing in anything in her life.
Do you want to talk about it? No, I was gonna. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Deanna's kindness?
It's never too late.
More than you know.
I just heard like rolls going off. I thought that was someone actually rolling to see if they heard of the unasked kindness.
I mean, based on all of my knowledge rolls, I haven't heard of anything.
Well, that's fair.
Sheltered life makes sense. Well,
So, what shall you do from here?
do we? I assume we want to stay in town. Right, everyone? Not wanting to get a late night, you know?
Yeah.
Seems for the best.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you need to check in on your pet?
Don't think you'd appreciate being called a pet.
That's what I'm saying.
yes,
while
I
he's not
should.
here.
But yes, I should probably check up on him.
And then maybe we leave in the morning and you can rejoin us on the road.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Alrighty. So, you're able to find a place in town very easily. Though, it's a bit different to what you're used to. Most people apparently seem to sleep outside underneath the stars, watching the night. Many in hammocks or open areas with beds.
Oh, I mean, if the weather's looking okay, this actually sounds kind of nice. I think NVIDIA would do the same if there's not like a, sleeping arrangement that she needs to make.
I mean, you're welcome to go ahead and sleep beneath the stars as well.
I mean, when in Rome.
Yeah, fair enough. If other people do want to sleep indoors, they are welcome to go find an inn nearby.
And we'll also sleep under the stars.
Alrighty.
In the interest of saving money, Cattell will as well.
Alright, Athos, you're going to join them, or are you going to, I don't know, sleep for 2 hours and then with them and just wander off and find the nightmare?
I was going to find the nicest inn in town and go there myself, but yeah, I just remember the ring.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alrighty. So you sleep. Everybody goes ahead and finds a nice, quiet place. Many people apparently sleep out by the lakeside. Though there's others there, so that one's up to you guys if you want to be around other random people.
That's okay. I wouldn't necessarily mind being around these people. Although I wouldn't mind being like at least close to Lynn and Cattell if they're both staying outside. Just to keep an eye.
Do you not trust what I'm going to do with my evening?
It's not you that I don't trust. It's not you and Cattell that I don't trust. It's just, in the practice of being safe, Make sure that you keep an eye on the people you care about.
Alright. So, everybody goes ahead and spends the evening outside the lake beneath the open sky and stars. And while a bit of light conversation occurs nearby, the other people don't seem to bother you. Is there anything people want to do during the evening? Alrighty. If you want to do something, Cattell, go ahead.
Nope.
Alrighty. Athos, you get your 2 hours in, nice and efficiently. And afterwards, you wake and look around the area. Some people are still up at this hour, but they're few and far between. Would you like to head outside the city in order to find your nightmare?
Yes.
Alrighty. You make your way out of John, getting your departure. But as you exit, you hear something in the distance. But as you sharpen your senses, you recognize it's actually rather close. The sounds of beasts, slaughter, something painful going on.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to investigate? I'll show you.
I'll have a look.
Okay. You head over, and you walk close to what looks to be a clearing. You see a sign on the outside of it, though. It simply marks hunting grounds. Do not enter.
I will enter.
Alright. You enter into the place and you can see animals stalking one another, hunting in packs, and fighting amongst themselves. It seems not even this place can escape the inevitability of death. The hunt that is required for life. The way one sustains itself through the death of others. something that stands out to you while you've been here is that you haven't seen any animals eating food. But here, feasting is a common sight. The creatures don't attack you. At least, none of them nearby. Perhaps you're too big for them. Or they simply don't like the look of you.
Rude.
But that seems to be what is going on here. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're there, or would you prefer to head back out and continue on to find the nightmare?
This looked like the, he would be here.
Oh, no, you don't believe he's here. There's no sense of him in this place.
I'll head out.
For what it's worth, it didn't feel like that area was abnormal, all things considered. And as you move through the place at night, you can hear other hunting areas. But yes, you move on and out and reach the outskirts of the city. There is no nightmares simply waiting for you. What shall you do?
Should I have Coronas look after him?
Coronas is peacefully sleeping back with everybody else right now.
Well, I'll find a location where we parted ways and sit there and spend 15 minutes to call us to prepare ascending.
Alrighty. 15 minutes later, and you have produced a sending spell. You're going to cast it immediately, I presume?
Yep.
Alrighty. You cast sending. What are you saying?
It's a simple. I summon to you to where we parted ways.
You hear a distinct snort in response, as if it was some kind of nod of agreement. And it is about an hour later before Thanakos returns. He lands before you and stares you down. Seemingly.
Good hunting today?
Just a moment. A fine hunt indeed. I have been enjoying the freedom that I have been granted here. And what of yourself?
Well, I got to see a fairly pretty sight, although you may not be interested in it.
I have little care for matters of beauty.
Fair enough.
I must ask, why have you called me?
seeing that you are well and that I intend to possibly depart tomorrow.
Very well. Where shall we be departing for?
Well, once the others have woken up, we will be continuing on our way to the spire.
You should be wary of that place.
I usually am. But what in particular?
You do not know what awaits you in that sanctuary. Perhaps it will be beneficial. You may be able to unleash a great terror there. A most glorious hunt.
Oh no.
That would be a worthy endeavor.
We shall see. But if not, there may be more smaller encounters to be had, such as we had the other day.
I have my doubts. Many creatures seem to fear this place. They do not approach it. My hunting requires me to travel far from here. If the lands are anywhere near as hallowed, then I doubt you shall encounter much. It shall be a boring coming week.
Well, you may say that, but it seems that our party has seemed to attract trouble, for better or less.
So long as the trouble can be solved with most glorious violence, then I have little concern.
Well, that's why I have brought you along.
Ah, a wise decision indeed. Now, I shall return to the hunt. Will you join me?
Very well, don't go too far. I'll be needing to call you as soon as everyone is up and ready.
I shall return here at dawn. Farewell for now, Athos.
Farewell, Thunnicus.
And with that, it begins riding off into the sky once more. It seemed fine, so there's that.
Nothing wrong there, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And seemed like it caused any problems I need to worry about now, so I'll head back.
That's a problem for tomorrow's Athos.
I'm sure everything is fine. Right? Right.
Sure.
Alright. Well,
Could have been anyone's flying hearse.
exactly. I'm sure you'll never be associated with this creature. Couldn't happen. So, with that, you return into the city. Is there anything you wish to do in this late night?
Guess I'll go to a tavern and have an early drink.
Get the day started early.
Alrighty. You head over to a tavern, and it seems actually very lively in this evening. Most people are having pleasant conversations, jostling one another and joking around. It doesn't seem like you can smell much in the way of beer, but there is all sorts of wines being sold in this place.
Well, I'll order a couple beers, one for Athos. And just start eavesdropping. Most notably if anyone mentions any flying horses.
Alrighty, give me a pair of diplomacy checks. This is gather information if that is relevant to you. Pretty good. You try listening in about any rumors about flying horses in the area, and there's a couple people talking about similar things. One person says, "Oh yeah, saw Pegasus the other day, kind of just flying through the sky. It was majestic. Caught one of its feathers. I can sell to you if you want. You know, get a bit of coin. Maybe do it to some travelers, see if they want to pick it up." Everyone calls his bullshit. Says he was drunk off his face and it was probably just a pigeon. But you do hear some guards talking in a hushed tone to one another about an ominous sign upon the distance. A horrid creature of smoke and bone, which will surely rest in their nightmares. It galloped through the sky, hunting any birds it would come across, devouring whatever it would see.
Coronas, watch out.
And beyond that, while you're eavesdropping in the area, you hear some people lamenting about how trade's gone poorly at the mouth of the river. Ships aren't going to be coming in for a while. Something's happened down there. You listen in a bit more closely, and you hear something a bit strange. Ship's going down. It's happened again. Bloody sea witch going ahead and destroying everything. I heard Gal Joe's not getting any ships out. He'll just go around the coasts. Yeah, but what are you going to do about it? No one can take that thing down. Whenever it turns up, it halts trade for months. Good thing we don't need too much coin around this town, or else we'd be right up shit creek. I know what you mean about that, but you got me there. What the hell are you gonna do? The word Queen of Storms gets mentioned at some point. But the rest, after that, they seem to drink heavily and devolve into more drunken rambling than anything else.
Very cool. I will mention all this to the party once they wake up.
Alrighty. How heavily are you drinking throughout the evening?
It's only morning, so just the two.
Okay. It's worth checking, you know? Oh, goodness. Alrighty. So, yes. You meet up with the rest of the party as they begin to wake. And Athos has like half a mug of wine in hand. Which, you know, they seem to not care too much that you took with you.
How's the nightmare?
Good. Hasn't caused any local incidences.
That's good. What's this about a sea witch you're telling us?
Overheard some talk at the tavern. Something about a sea witch and blocking a route to trade and various ships going down.
And that's just because I didn't quite hear you. Is the sea witch closer to the coast or closer to the lake?
The coast. It's at the mouth of the river. So as it exits out into the
Okay.
ocean.
So the exact opposite area.
Yes.
Right on.
Nowhere near you
Okay.
guys.
He did mention that it pops up every now and then, so perhaps we can have a look at it on our return journey.
True. It's not a bad idea. Help some people out.
Anyone who wants to can give me knowledge geography.
I don't think I have that.
Yeah. Some people might. Coronis
What the hell do
does
you have?
because of reasons. Alright, I can tell you got that. Ah, there we go. Cool. Coronis and Lynn, you both know something about this. The Queen of Storms is also known as the Terror of the Meridian Ocean.
Ooh.
It is a horrid underwater creature that has plagued that area since the time of the Gods' War's end. It is a horrifying beast that can command the storms and sinks ships at its own whim. And Cattell, you know a little bit more about the creature. You know that it is one of the 3 great beasts that have remained since the Gods' War's end, and was one of the reasons Jordalia was so hard to inhabit in its early years, as these creatures caused endless destruction and torment for the people. The Queen of Storms has mostly eschewed any duties as some kind of divine instrument of destruction, and instead claimed much of the Meridian Ocean for herself. You know that apparently it's a creature known as a Scylla, a mix of woman, octopus, and wolf, capable of shifting forms and wreaking terrible havoc. You know that she most often enjoys inhabiting some kind of trade route and causing endless strife for anybody who tries to travel through it.
Well, you were talking about helping the people on the way back, but it sounds like a quite powerful being. I don't know how much help could be.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense if it's a force of nature, like it's kind of being described as.
On the other hand, if there's ships that went down, they probably have some valuable cargo on it.
I mean, regardless, this seems like a something we'd have to figure out as we get closer to back to the ocean on the way back. Well, in that case, do we want to start heading out to, closer to the spire today?
I think so.
Okay. And we can figure out sort of what's next after the spire once we get there.
Alrighty. Yes. So, you head off in the direction of the spire, moving through John. The city itself is vast. It spreads out over a great distance without buildings being so clustered together. But eventually, you come to the city's border, where jungle ends and frost begins once more. And follow the road from there. It takes you alongside the Great Lake, and it's more than a day's travel moving around the great body of water. It's about another 3 days of travel going from Zhong to Xingyanwan. And from there, you can see the spire. Right now, you sit in another jungle-like area, surrounded by rainforest and damp, humid scents. Yet, still, it is just as lively as Zhong. Still, the people move about freely, happily, without any concern for the dangers so far south, or the cold blizzards that could strike anywhere nearby. Instead, they're left in this peaceful little bubble, and providing such shelter is the great spire before you, the monolith which shields them from harm and gives the land such incredible life. And with that, you make your way closer towards it.
Cool. Is there any difference from like a feeling of connection to the honest kindness from this city, from the city we were previously in?
In truth, not really. You feel quite similar to how you did before. There is still that feeling of restlessness and this desire to keep moving and see whatever you can.
Okay. Alright, well, I don't know if you guys want to stay here, relax a little bit. I want to get closer to the spire, but it's up to everybody how quickly we go.
Patel is already doing sketches in her journal from a distance, like trying to capture it. She's definitely not as good at NVIDIA as drawing, so she just keeps getting frustrated redoing it.
NVIDIA just keeps on offering pointers, but just is not helping. She's very much like, and then draw the rest of the owl sort of meme.
Yeah. circle here, a curve here,
And then just fill in the
then-
details.
Yeah, just fill in the details.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious to see what is there.
Alrighty. Something that is perhaps a little bit strange is as you make your way into the city, you can feel the eyes of beasts upon you. Specifically upon yourself, Athos. No creature makes any aggressive move towards you, but you can feel them watching. The birds, the dogs, cats, each of them keep looking upon you warily.
Do the rest of us notice this, or just Athos?
Oh, the rest of you can notice it. Of the sheer number of animals in this area, it's relatively easy to see that they keep looking your way.
Athos, you're not planning on doing anything, are you?
No, not much of an animal person. Except for, Balder here. And Cronus.
I mean, okay, I trust you.
Well, Master, if you wish, I can go give those other birds a good talking to.
That won't be necessary.
I've been practicing my squawking just for such an occasion.
Give him a what for?
See, I have prepared the finest of retorts should they ever come across me, and use foul language.
What retorts do you have prepared?
Ah, my finest one yet. Twiddly tweet. Twiddly tweet.
Could you
Wow,
translate that to for the rest of us who don't understand bird?
He translates for you. Twiddly tweet. Twiddly tweet.
That's pretty savage. I just gotta say.
I mean, maybe it's one of those things that just like you have to be smart enough to understand, because that just went right over my head.
Worry not. I'm sure they will understand the meaning behind my message.
Definitely. I'm sure of it.
Oh, goodness. Anyway. So. Everybody's happy to just move along, head off towards the spire then?
Yeah, I mean, I trust Athos. As long as nothing happens, it should be fine.
I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong.
Nothing ever does with him.
Thank you. Anyway. Yes. Much like Jong, the city is sprawling and expansive. There are more than just simple suburbs clustered together, and the spire is outside of the city proper. A small bit of cold wind separates the area. The river alongside it is immaculate, pure, and completely see-through. Can see the shallow river all the way to its depths, and the fish that manage to swim through, as well as the few other bits of crustaceans which move about. Eventually, you do reach the site of the spire. The great mountain pierces high into the sky and goes far above the clouds. Trees sprout along all portions of it, looking tiny in comparison to the overgrown piece of rock that emerges from the ground. A few individuals stand around shrines at the mountain's base, but nothing like the temple you saw in video. You can see it is resting, perhaps a few hundred meters climb above. Rough-hewn stairs lead the path up towards it.
I can see the temple?
You can see the temple, but it is
my bad.
several
For a second,
hundred
I
meters
couldn't.
up.
Got it.
Yeah, you can see the shrines here at the base, but they are not the temple. Yeah, sorry.
Meh. Meh. I personally, I don't know if you guys can see that there's a temple up there. Want to go visit that temple specifically, but I'll leave it up to the rest of you what you want to do. I don't want anybody forced to come with me.
I wouldn't mind a little climb.
Could tell you may be able to study some of the, the spire itself if you come with us.
Yes, I very much like to come.
Does this feel, this location feel any different from before?
It does. You feel close to something. Something that you've been looking for. Something that resonates within you.
That's good. Athos, you doing okay, buddy? I feel great. I just want to make that, as a result, that makes me a little worried about you.
I feel fine.
You feel okay. You're a bit uneasy.
Yeah, everything's all right.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check in, make sure you're doing okay.
How do I feel?
You feel it's like something is right here. You don't know why, but this journey beyond perhaps just the spire feels very meaningful. You feel a sense of great hope.
Like that?
What was that?
But I'll take that.
Okay.
I won't tell anybody about it, but I'll take it.
All right. Well, Athos, do you want to come with to the temple up there?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's start making our way up to the temple.
Alrighty. Everyone begins the climb up the mountain. It is much easier than a free climb, with the stairs offering their assistance, but it is wholly unpleasant after the first 100 flights of stairs being traversed. It is a great distance up. And you question why anyone would be building a temple up here. But enjoy nonetheless.
You hear NVIDIA mutter something about literally closer to God.
Wrong direction, I think.
Alrighty. So, you begin your ascent, and eventually you do manage to reach the temple. It is a small affair, hidden behind a single overgrown gate. The temple itself looks well maintained, though outside there is an overgrown well and plenty of plant life, which consumes much of the rocks in the area, moss and the like covering them. Outside the temple is something a bit strange. There are 4 young kitsune standing there. They look like they're waiting for you.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Alright. As you approach them, each one of them walks close to you, places down a fruit before each individual one of you. Then, all together, they toss a handful of multicolored leaves into the air. And with a puff of smoke, they vanish. You hear some distant giggling, however, as they clearly begin to hide themselves around the corner behind the temple and various trees.
Are these like very young, like kids?
They
or-
definitely seem like children, yes.
Okay. Well. What was the fruit that they put down in front of us?
Give me a knowledge nature check.
Got it.
For reference, this is passable without being trained.
I think we all got it then.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard one. You recognize it as, well, at least you're fairly certain it's a grapefruit.
Okay. Not my number 1 fruit, but, you know. Take what you're given. And life gives you grapefruit.
Alrighty. Well, each of you has been given a grapefruit. What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to pick it up and just walk in the temple. Unless I know of some weird ritual that involves grapefruit.
Give me knowledge religion. Well, you know there's a bunch of kitsune rituals that could theoretically involve a grapefruit. They could be anything from eating it, to squishing it, to peeling it. It really depends, because kitsune come with all sorts of strange rituals to appease the spirits. But it also varies from person to person what they follow and why. So, doing something with it could be just as wrong as not doing anything with it.
Athos, do you know anything?
Athos, you feel like you should eat the grapefruit. What else would you do with it? I mean, Cronus could eat it instead, but...
I'll peel open the grapefruit and eat some and offer some to Cronus. And also offer some to Thonicus.
Tharkos is not with you.
I was going to say, is he with us? Because
No.
I would probably get in trouble.
You did not bring...
Are you gonna let him just be at the bottom?
I mean,
Like,
him at
potentially
sunrise?
not near at all.
Sorry, what was that, Carla?
Did you ever go and meet him at sunrise?
I assume the party...
Pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I was under the assumption the party was going to meet up and move along with him on the road.
Okay.
he was going to stay outside of the city, but he could go into the barrier between the city and the spire, in theory, if you wanted him there.
They can wait outside.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Has Thanako said anything like super weird in our vicinity, or is he keeping it to himself?
Not in your vicinity.
Okay, just figured I'd ask. If Athos is eating the grapefruit, shoot. I mean, food's meant for eating.
Food is meant for eating, that is true.
I don't particularly like grapefruit, but I'll eat it. That's fine.
Alrighty. Athos, you go ahead and you take your first bite. But the smell and taste of this fruit are far different from one another. While it smells sweet, as you bite into the fruit, you almost reel back from the flavor of rancid meat. The fruit looks normal, smells normal, but that foul taste lingers on your tongue. Wholly unpleasant.
I'll reach for my flask of alcohol on my lip and give the rest to Cronus.
Cronus begins biting into the grapefruit. Delicious. I haven't had a good overdone, over-ripened piece of meat in a good while.
You can have the rest of it.
Thank you, master. NVIDIA, would you like to take a bite out of the grapefruit?
I'm not sense motivating Athos. Seems perfectly fine to me. Seems like an Athos thing to do. Yeah, I want to take a bite of it.
Yeah, okay. You take a bite of it, and the grapefruit leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But there's this
like
kind
a grapefruit.
like a grapefruit you would expect. There's a light sweetness that seems to escape you. You eat the fruit, and you can't seem to really enjoy the taste. But in your heart, you feel that you wish you could.
Oh, okay, yeah. Got it.
Other people have grapefruit if they'd like to also eat theirs.
Then we'll collect some of the colored leaves, and then she'll have a bite of her good fruit.
Alright. You collect a few of the colored leaves. You don't know what plants are giving off blue leaves, but you appreciate the collection nonetheless. Alright. You take a bite out of the grapefruit, and there's this joyous mix of flavors that bombard all of your senses at once. The fruit is delicious, but overwhelming at the same time.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had this kind of fruit. Does it taste good?
Generally sweet with a bit of a bitter aftertaste, you know.
Alright, Cattell will give it a go, I guess.
With varied reactions from your party.
Yeah.
There's an absolute no from Athos, and Video's like, meh. And then Lynn's like, yeah, it's good.
I can tell you sit somewhere in the middle of all of this. You take a bite out of this fruit that you've never had before, and it is indeed a strange experience. You don't know if you could call it bitter or sour or sweet. It's impossible to compare to anything else. But as you bite into it, you're left curious and wanting.
Okay, interesting flavor.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Let's continue on into the temple.
Alrighty. You continue on into the temple itself. And inside there is a single priest wandering around. They immediately stand out to you for their giant feathery wings and immaculate skin of, well, beautiful white. Their hair and garments matching colour. They have bits of gold all across them, with a few talismans showing off their reverence to the unasked kindness. And a halo rests above her head. The temple that surrounds her is carved out of the mountain itself. Grey stone with blossoming flowers and pieces of art decorate the temple. At its center is the unasked kindness. An image that seems a bit different to some of the others that you've seen before. This one is strange. It's an amalgamation, somewhat reminiscent of how you have interpreted Banhang, with the three distinct heads as chimera, but different in its own way. The statue depicting her, well, is a mix of plant for its base, roots grinding into the ground, a face of a elven maiden, and arms furred ending in claws. Her middle appears to be swirling water. No torso truly there. Instead, just this kind of strange scene before you. And atop her head is a wreath of flowers. Also, just a second. That is the sight before you.
Okay. Hello. It's nice to meet you. Are you the what do you call the head of the temple? Head temple person?
Priestess?
Priestess?
She turns about and looks towards you, a soft smile on her face. Yes, that is I. We have very few visitors come by this way. My name is Mang. Ambriel Mang.
How do you spell that, Ambriel May?
Let me get that one up for you. Also,
No particular reason?
there you go. Apparently I had the wrong image because I got the the false PNG background.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you, by the way. I really wanted to know the answer, but I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. Also,
And not that NVIDIA would even know.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Alright.
Sorry. Music died because it felt like it.
That's it.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I was supposed to switch your profile. This is the outside of the temple. There you go.
Ooh, cool.
The inside is far more well maintained, but similarly has nature claiming portions of it. Anyway.
If you don't mind me asking, how long have you been here?
Myself? Oh, I have been here for most of my life. I have served the unasked kindness for the last century or so. But I have wandered from this place on many occasions. I have visited much of Anvisalia, travelled the path of a million strides, and explored what of the world that I could. And what of yourself? You seem to have travelled far.
Yeah, we're all here for different reasons. I've traveled from more or less the other side of the world, just on a pilgrimage of sorts, looking for some kind of enlightenment.
Well, my family has lived in service to the unasked kindness and all of paradise for several generations. We find that enlightenment comes from the journey itself rather than a simple temple at its destination.
Makes sense. How long has this temple been here?
I believe my ancestors created this when the spire first rose. So, well over a millennium now.
Do you mind if we take a look around? My friend actually studies older architecture and, relics of bygone ages, so she would be very interested in looking around, if that's okay.
Yes, please go ahead. I shall not stop you.
And is there a shrine or temple? If you could point me towards it, I would like to take a moment to pray as well.
Oh, of course. We have the shrine just over here, and she indicates right beneath the statue itself.
Okay, easy peasy.
If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them. I know some of this place's history, but you may learn more from the stones themselves.
Nvidia will gesture to Cattell, like, look around.
You said I'm supposed to learn things from the stones?
Entirely possible. If you were a lover
Catel's
of
just gonna go
architecture.
around, like, knocking on all the stones around here, just tapping them, hoping something will happen.
I don't think that's what you meant. Okay, you're doing it.
Cattell, you attempt to take the literal explanation. And you go around, you knock on some stone, you feel it's really dense. Like, probably denser than rocks should be. That means something, right? You scratch your head. That's what she meant.
Can I use my what is it? Psychometry, the psychic powers I have, so when I touch things, I can know things.
Yeah, you could try.
Okey-dokey.
That is appraise, I do believe.
Correct. Oh.
Oh boy. You cast your mind back and begin to ponder the stone, and all of the psychic impressions left upon this for an age. And you were given the memory of countless holy men and women, of people that come here seeking enlightenment, as your friend has, and discovering a great deal of things, many living here for decades, many decidedly placing their trust in the temple and on all those who dwell here, in the gods themselves. And you can feel the power of faith itself imbues this place, imbues all of the land that surrounds you. You feel a connection to all the spire touches and every route that extends beyond. You feel a connection to this land. And all the beauty that comes with an untouched paradise. Now, with the role that you got, you also have access to 3 specific questions you may ask about this place's history. They may be somewhat vague in their responses, but you can get the answer out 3 times.
Ooh. A lot of pressure. Can I talk to everyone around me and just be like, hey, what does anyone want to know about this place?
Sure. And tell you what, you have to do 1 question on your own first.
Okay. Is there anything here that would be of particular interest to me? Like, something of particular historical value?
I could be a shit and just say the temple itself, but... Alright.
Like an item that was like left behind by someone important years ago or something.
Alright, there we go. A bit more specific there. Alrighty. You begin to focus upon this place and all that's connected to it. And your mind reaches forward and you feel spectral hands. You feel your own hands resting upon a small sculpture made of marble, you think. You don't know why, but this is something important. Something belonging to a distant past. It rests not here, but atop the temple, hidden beneath some plants.
Okay.
Alright, now you can get other people to, if you would like them to.
I'll just be the tour guide.
Tour guide through
What
history.
questions do you have about this time era? You want to know more about the Gods' War and stuff like that. Maybe try to ask how the Spire came to be and what happened.
Hmm. I mean, I guess what's the ultimate intention of the spires being created?
That's a good question.
Alrighty. Once again, your mind reaches out, trying to discern intentions of the past. And your thoughts become muddled. There is what it feels like countless debates upon what these spires represent, what they were for, why they came into existence. And as you focus upon it, one answer stands out as a unifying thought. The vanishing of the gods and the spires are directly connected to one another. The unasked kindness does not answer prayers directly anymore through divinations or communes. It's always done through proxies, much like any of the other deities. The spires have a role to play here. What truly, specifically, it is impossible to tell. There is too much interference, too many different lines of thought on the matter. But you know they are intertwined. That is for certain.
Does anyone else want to know anything about this place?
Is it common knowledge what the God's War was about?
Yes, most people are relatively most people know about the matter. It was about the battle of the gods for control over mortal kind and the material plane.
And the major 9 were the victors?
There was no victor in the end. The gods of law and chaos, the arbiter and reality's jester, did not involve themselves upon the war. But the gods of good and the gods of evil did battle. And now neither of them have been able to answer a prayer directly since the time of the gods' war's end. There was no victor in the end, just endless suffering until the war finally ended.
I guess another last question would be, who has been the most important figure to pass through here?
Alrighty. Your mind reels at the question, deciphering who would be the most important, according to the temple itself, according to so much. And two images flash in your mind very, very briefly. The first is some kind of strange creature, insectile, and face constantly shifting in form, growing older, younger, perishing, and coming back to the same, all in the singular moments. And another is an unassuming woman. She looks very troubled. You don't know when this was. Decades ago at the very minimum. She clearly has something wrong with her. She bears not ill will, but a wounded soul. And she feels almost familiar somehow. On her hip, is a whip covered in spikes. But that is all you can see, at least for now. And with that, your attunement with this place fades, and your focus returns to your own mind.
Well, Catel's just gonna start writing a bunch of stuff in her journal and jotting these things down, and she wants to go search out the little stone thing you were talking about at the beginning.
Alrighty. You begin writing things down before you head out of the temple. You look up above it, and it's like there's a couple vines on the side you could probably climb up and get up there that way. But that involves some vertical climbing.
Well, Catel's gonna try it.
Alright. You give me a climb check. Alrighty, that's not too bad. You've got a brace against a wall, with a rope, effectively. Alright, you grab on, and it's a bit hard to grip with the leaves in the way, but you manage to start climbing up the vine. The temple juts out on its roof, though. You have to try and kick off to try and get up to the top. So, give me another climb check.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh no.
Alright, you kick off and try and pull yourself up quickly, and as you do so, the extra tension and weight upon the vine causes it to snap, and you go tumbling to the ground. You land at the temple side with a distinct thump, your ass plenty sore, and your arms now tangled in a mix of vines.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I suppose just like, what happened?
As you hit the ground, one of the Kitsune children from earlier runs over towards you, looks over you. Are you okay, miss?
Oh, physically, yes. I don't know about my my ego.
Oh, okay. You could try and drop down from above.
I like your thinking, kid.
Thank you. Did you like the fruit?
It was interesting. Kind of sweet, kind of tangy.
Okay. The priestess says we should always give people fruit before they enter, and then watch how they look. A lot of people have very funny faces.
What is it like when you eat the fruit?
Oh, it's really nice. It's really sweet. Makes me think of home.
Is this not your home?
It is now. But I'm gonna go, okay? Good luck, climbing up top. Oh, goodness. Alrighty, that happened. Alright. Well, while Catella recovers from her bruised ego, what is everyone else doing?
Nvidia's going to go pray, like she said she would.
Alrighty. You kneel in prayer before the statue and the shrine before you. And you feel that sense of restlessness not truly fade, but it does diminish. You sit there in a deep focus and begin to ponder both what the priestess has said and the gods themselves. What of paradise? Now that you're here, where does your mind turn?
Now, we would be asking. How do I want? Sorry, I'm thinking about how I'm phrasing this. As the unasked kindness, you gave me this divine power, but I'm struggling to understand the divine purpose behind it and what the next steps you need or want from me would be. I understand that my skill set and talents lay in a questionable gray area outside of how you normally would do things, but I still, believe very strongly that we need to do what's necessary. And maybe that you understood that when you gave me the divine abilities that you have given me. So now I'm here and asking what the purpose behind them and they are.
Alrighty. You think upon these matters. You pray and cast your thoughts into the Aether. And you sit there for a long while as steadily you begin to receive something in return. Your mind wanders to pictures. Some of them are of your family. many seem to focus upon your child. Other images come to mind. You find yourself outside of a secluded grove. People walk beside you and enter. They kneel in prayer and reverence. They seem joyous and content. But you stand outside, unable or unwilling to enter. You bring more with you every journey. But still, you stand outside. You grow old across these journeys. And at one point, you make it all alone. And you walk inside that secluded grove. And at last, you understand. And that is when the vision fades.
Right.
Alright, who's up next for vague bullshit?
I mean, I thought it was actually really specific in like a fun, symbolic way.
I would hope so.
I mean, I understood kind of what you were going for there.
I'm glad, thank you.
I guess Lynn can have some shenanigans.
Alrighty.
So while everybody else is distracted with their own things and not paying attention to her, she will go over to the priestess and kind of like ask if she can speak to her privately.
Oh, of course. Though, I am willing to discuss most matters in the public eye. I have nothing to hide.
It's not about something you have to hide, it's just my own personal...
Speak no more.
Thank you.
And then she takes you over to a quiet part of the temple, parts, some vines, which function sort of like a doorway. And then she turns and asks, how private is this matter?
This is fine, I just...
Very well.
So I don't even know where to begin. Most of my life I have not really paid much attention to the gods, and over the past, the times that I've spent with them, and she'll gesture vaguely off towards her party, I felt, I've learned some things, and I've felt some things, and I'm finding myself actually, like, being here in this place is actually kind of really significant for me when it wouldn't have been a year ago, and it's very important, and I feel the love of the gods now, which I never thought I would, and there's just a piece that's missing. And she'll look over towards Balder, who would have stayed in the main area. And I feel that, and I feel so strong, but I don't know if he feels it too. And I want to do something for him. I want him to know what it's like. I think it'll help bring me closer to him, and I think that this has really enriched my life, and I want to do that for him too. I know to some he's just a tiger, but to me he's more, and from, what I've seen just here, animals mean so much more, and I want him to... I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it is fine. I can tell this is of great importance to you. I could tell as each of you walked through the front door, bar one, that you have been blessed by Barnham. Divines favor you in some fashion, and I'm truly grateful that you could be embraced by paradise itself, that you could feel all the love that we have for nature and that the world has for us. It is indeed enriching to think about. Many animals in this place are not simple creatures. They are closer to those which rest in paradise and divine realms. They have no need to eat or hunt, though that is not the case for all of them. Similarly, many of the kitsune, Fionids, and Drakons that live in this place were once human. Generations and the influence of the spire have changed them, and they have become what they are now, closer to the divine Agathian, which we worship, representing them both in mind and body. I believe we can do something for your dear tiger. And I'm sure Paradise would be glad to accept him.
Thank you. I haven't really told the rest. They've always known me to be, pretty not religious and everything. So I'd rather, I don't want them to know yet, if that's okay.
That is fine. It will not be a secret for long. Of that I can assure you. But
Okay.
come with me to the river, as that which drops from the spire. Meet me there tonight. We shall begin a ritual.
Okay. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now, is there anything else you wish to discuss? Or shall we rejoin the remainder of your group?
I think that's everything.
She nods. Well, I look forward to whatever happens this evening. Then she guides you back into the main section of the temple. Alrighty. Athos, anything from you?
I will just be examining the ceremonies that they're making, and yep.
Oh, good. Well, there is only one person here, of the priestess, as well as the kitsune that were outside. So the only person you can really watch here is Nvidia, going through her prayers. But, NVIDIA is welcome to describe them if she'd like. It's fine. We can,
Sorry.
we can just gloss
It,
over
it was
It's
being weird for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't look like much. She'd be praying, and then she'd be praying for a while, and then at some point she would probably stand up, and then look a combination of both slightly like pensive and understanding, but also a little disappointed.
All right.
Alrighty. Meanwhile, Cattell, you've gotten up nice and high. You found a spot where you think you can drop down to get to the top of the temple.
Do I have to do like a climb or acrobatics or something?
It will be another climb check. I was just waiting to see if there was anything else you need to do first.
Oh no. Oh god.
This is not your particular talent.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not a strong person.
Alright. Everybody hears a loud thump on top of the temple roof. As if something just crashed into it.
I feel like I remember you saying that you picked up fly.
Oh shit.
I don't think we're like really in a resource management aspect at the moment. You could probably throw it.
I totally forgot I had that.
Oh my god.
New spells, it's okay.
Still haven't even picked my spells for this level, so
I mean, I'm on the roof now, so I
Yeah.
guess it's fine.
You're pretty sure you broke something, but I'm sure some healing magic will fix that up fine.
I choose to believe that you fall onto the roof of it, and then that's what causes you to remember that you have that.
Yeah, you bump your
Extract.
you bump your head. You now remember you can cast fly. Oh god. Anyway, after a bit of bruising, you begin to look around for what it was up here. And eventually, you do find something buried underneath some plants, a few vines, and what looks to be a flower kind of embracing and holding this statue inside. You pry open the petals, and within is a small marble statue of a winged creature. Looks to be humanoid. The wings feathery, perhaps an angel of some description.
So it looks like it's been here for a long time?
Oh, most certainly. You're not sure how a flower managed to grow around this thing, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. I think I want to go find the priestess then and ask if she knows anything about it.
Alrighty. You... Rabbit, how are you getting down? I'm just checking.
Well, now that I realize I'll take the fly extract.
Alrighty. You fly down.
Woo!
Oh, goodness. Alright. Cool. You use the power of flight to get down the side of the temple. and it goes much better than any attempts at climbing ever did. Alrighty. You bring the item towards the priestess. And she looks on at the little statue with a mix of wonder and surprise.
Is it okay that I touch this? Was I supposed to leave it there?
Oh, no, it's quite alright. Where did you find this?
The roof?
Really? That is very strange. I remember one of my ancestors. There was a story about a statue just like that one. It was an item of a divine blessing. It was one that was created to bring a minor boon of luck upon any who proudly displayed it. It also warded them from traveling through nature. I'm very surprised you were able to find that. It's been lost for a great deal of time. I'd assumed that it was stolen or taken on a journey at some point and simply never returned.
Well, you're welcome to have it now.
Fate is a funny thing. You found it. Perhaps it would be good for it to go on another journey.
I mean, I would gladly take it and display it.
Then please, carry it with you. And know that Paradise's blessing follows you.
You have my thanks.
And you have mine.
And then Catel's gonna run out and try to find Nvidia. Be like, look what I found!
I think I'm in there actually, so
Probably.
you just went over 100.
Yes.
That's a nice statue.
It's, yes, you can see it's a statue of a marble angel.
Well, that's nice. Where'd you find that?
The roof?
Oh, does it belong to the temple or?
I mean, if it did, it doesn't now. It's,
Did you steal it?
No! Technically, no. I mean, I didn't get permission at first, but now I do.
It's not me.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, that's fine. That's really cool. It's really detailed.
Yep, so I'm just gonna be hanging out with this for a little while.
Okay, sounds good. Athos, how are you doing, buddy?
Great.
Great. Feel anything, stirring? Maybe maybe something a little bit more good might be good in your life.
Athos, you feel like your feet
Athos.
are burning slightly.
What was that? Sorry.
Athos feels like his feet are burning ever so slightly.
Can I sense that Athos is not good?
I mean, up to you guys. Oh, if you're talking, Nick, we can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Alright, okay. Nick, did you catch everything that we just said?
I'm not hearing anything if you guys are saying anything.
Wait, you're not?
Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on. Let's just go to general.
Yeah, well, let's message him. Says that tell him where he can hear us.
Hello, hello?
Hello.
We can
can
hear
still
you.
hear you.
Can you hear us?
Oh, there we are, yeah.
Oh.
Woo!
Anyway, as I was saying earlier, Athos, you feel like the ground is, it burns your feet ever so slightly. It's like a little bit uncomfortable to be on top of.
Huh. I think I need new shoes. But no, I'm fine.
I had rolled an 8 or 19 sense motive.
Like I said, up to Athos if he wants to let that one through or not.
You noticed that his, seems to be standing a bit awkwardly than usual.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, that is that for the time being. So, is there anything else people wish to do?
Nope.
Not at this hour.
So, in that case, what shall you do for the rest of the day? It's only noon now.
Do we want to go back into town, or was there more that we wanted to do up here then?
I think I'd like to spend the night here, if you guys don't mind.
I
You
mean,
don't have to stay if you don't want to, though.
I certainly don't mind staying. Cattell, what about you?
I'm fine here.
And Athos, are you okay staying here for the night?
Possibly.
I mean, I know there's no alcohol, but
I might need some arrangements to make myself more comfortable.
okay, that's fine.
Alrighty. So, if you guys are going to be staying for the evening, the priestess invites you outside. How long will you be wishing to stay?
I had some of my questions answered. Lynn, Cattell, were you wanting to stay longer, or any longer, or?
I think just one night, probably. It's a
Mhm.
very
Please.
beautiful place.
Did Atlas just say please?
Yes.
All right.
Very well. If you ever wish to return, you are welcome to do so. But if it's just for the night, then we needn't do anything drastic. She goes ahead and grasps her holy symbol and begins to move her hands and speak something arcane. And with that, stone begins to form. A platform off to the side, outside the temple, and overreaching a small plateau which everyone is on. It extends out, and lumps appear. She moves over and begins to guide the stone, forming crude beds so that you could watch the stars above from here.
Oh, perfect. This is exactly what you wanted, Athos. Something a little bit more comfortable.
Sure.
Well, then maybe we can do a fourth one then, so Athos can stay here for the night too.
She goes ahead, begins to shape another. Well, if you have any need of me, please do not hesitate. And do not forget, it takes time to heal a wounded heart. And then she just kind of wanders off back into the temple.
Did she say that to anybody in particular, or just throwing that out there to everybody?
Just seems to be throwing that out there to everybody.
Okay.
Does someone here have a wounded heart?
Athos, are you missing Sarsha?
That's the only possible answer.
Makes sense to me, man. Come on. Perfect answer.
No way none of the rest of our characters have anything else going on.
No. Backstories aren't real. Don't lie to me.
NVIDIA just like looks at Lynn and looks at Cattell and just like, okay. Cool. While we have a moment, now that Ambriel is gone, gonna ask Athos. Athos, I never really pressed you about it before, but from one devotee to another, I'm just curious as to sort of how you found your faith, and more specifically than that, how you found your purpose, and what is like your purpose that you got from your god.
Well, it is the religion that I was raised up in, and I intend to carry it on. As for its purpose, it is quite simple. Live, kill, and eventually die to something that will consume you.
I mean,
This
that's
is the
pretty,
way of life.
in a sense, kind of. Why the unnecessary killing, though?
Unnecessary?
Well, according to your faith as you've described it just now, it's to live, to kill something, and then to eventually die. All of which makes sense surface level, but then what about, like, is it a requirement that you just go out and kill something every once in a while just to kill it?
It's not necessarily the killing, it's more that, generally something needs to die in order to sustain your own life.
Okay, so it's more of like a idea that, like, in order for something to survive, something else will probably have to die.
Indeed. And in the same way, you yourself will one day be killed and consumed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, from a biological standpoint, it makes sense.
And if we go beyond that, in the afterlife, well, there exists certain things that, as such, that you have seen that exist to consume the souls of those who die eventually.
Something exists to consume the souls of those who die?
Yes, like the Thunicus. Although he is of on the middling ground, I believe.
What do you mean by that, out of curiosity?
Well, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, but it is a realm that is largely unexplored by mortal eyes, and generally people who know more about it don't like writing it down, and those books tend to be burnt anyways.
Got it. So then, what purpose did your god give you then? Why are you a devotee as opposed to simply a follower, I suppose, is what I mean to ask.
Well, when you're out to accomplish certain things, you generally, well, you do have to make some sacrifices, be willing to work for people who are, quite frankly, better than you, and offer you a better path in life to accomplish your goals. What he intends of me is not entirely clear. He sees fit for now to see that I grow, that I consume, that I attain, well, more things. Possibly in the event that I become nice and fat in the eventual time when I die, and then he gets to consume my ripened soul.
Ah. What if your god, wanting souls, were to ask you to, say, annihilate a village?
Probably find an excuse not to. Doesn't really give me direct commands.
Okay.
And I don't see much of a point in annihilating a village.
Okay. Fair enough. Just simply wondering after having some questions of my own today.
Assuming if I even eat people, that would be way too many. No, the killings will need to be done in a sustainable manner.
Got it. Sustainable farming practices. Cage-free souls.
Makes no sense.
Free-range souls, cage-free souls.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good, I suppose.
And I have come from Umbris, where, as you may know, they practice widespread necromancy.
Okay, can I sense motive that? Because I think I know that it's true, but he lied to me before, and I knew that he lied to me before.
I mean, go ahead. So.
I'm assuming that's true.
That is true, yes. Umbris is very much at war with several other countries because they actively practice necromancy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The reason why I, asked that question, Athos, is because I think when we first met, and I knew you were lying at the time, but I didn't really push it. You told us you're from I think Utadria.
Yes, although that isn't an entire lie. I did come from there recently.
As in, you walked through it and came here via Utadria.
Well, that, and I was working there for several years.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's interesting. With that, your country of origin practices necromancy. That seems to be really against your teachings. How did you find your god there?
Well, funny thing is, I believe the Final Hunt is actually one of the more popular religions there, and many practitioners of the Final Hunt approve of necromancy.
And you don't?
No. I follow a rather particular sect, where most of us, we went our ways. Generally, we believe that the undead, if they continue existing upon the mortal plane, they can't move on to the next one and be consumed or consumed. Instead, they exist here in perpetuity.
That makes a certain amount of logical sense for sure. How about things like, I've heard that there are some, priests and clerics who are able to cast resurrection magic. Would that be considered against the teachings of your god then? Assuming, because I can understand not believing in raising the dead from a undead perspective, but resurrecting someone from death, would that be against your teachings as well?
I honestly don't think he really cares. Death will come to everyone regardless. If you get a bit more time and are willing to pay the price, well, so be it.
Okay. That makes sense. Seems like you have a much less fanatical ideology than others of your religion.
Yes, it's what's kept me alive so far.
Well, I'm glad that you're alive, Hathos.
For now, at least.
For now. Okay. And yeah, that's all for that conversation.
Alrighty. So, was there any other things people wish to talk about before evening comes? Athos, if you want to throw any questions back in video in return.
I deserve it.
For this paradise you speak of, does everything live in harmony? Without any of the killings?
That's sort of the idea that, paradise is, almost unfettered growth and harmony, where there's nothing shackling people back from being, all of themselves, assuming that they are able to live in harmony with others. And that's sort of the idea. It's not just chaos incarnate specifically, it's the ability to grow unbridled by order, but also in harmony with other things as well.
Well, that's nice.
It is. If you ever want to, have a long conversation about how great the unasked kindness is, feel free to let me know, and I'll, I have a whole book
on it. Well, to be fair, I don't think it is the place for one such as myself.
No, that's fair.
As you say, it does require the cooperation of everyone.
Yeah, that is part of it. It does require, in order to live in harmony, there has to be a desire to work with others, if that makes sense.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I am of the mindset and of the heart that, if I want something, I am more than willing to take it.
I have come to see that. But
So it is more out of respect for your religion that, well, I do not think of myself deserving of it.
perfectly fair.
But you know, I'm more than happy to listen in.
Absolutely. If I ever, have have a study group or something, I will invite you along.
I've also got some
And
bags from
likewise, if
BCS.
you ever feel the desire to just, take what you need and
Give nothing back?
fulfill
Yeah,
and accept the nature of, well, survival of the best. And feel free to talk.
absolutely. I believe too much in the wanting to help those who can't help themselves that I don't think I'd be able to live that way.
Fair enough. Although being greedy and taking what you need doesn't necessarily mean you can't help others.
No, but part of your beliefs would stem around survival of the best or the fittest, as you've said. And I can understand from a purely a standpoint of looking at it from pure strength that may make sense, but there's always going to be others who do not have the ability to stand up for themselves or do not have the ability to defend themselves. And those are the ones that would be trodden upon by the strong. The differences in thinking is that I believe that it's the responsibility of those like you and me who are stronger to protect and to nurture and to help those who can't defend themselves be the best that they can possibly be.
A fair point. Although it is my belief that the strong will protect the weak in order to keep them under their, well, on their hunting grounds.
Yeah, and that's, I think, where we differ.
Oh, this was an enthralling philosophical discussion, but I think we might be boring the others.
I agree.
What are Lynn and Cattell doing while this conversation takes place?
Liv is just watching. And gently petting Balder.
I'm putting my fancy little statue out and cleaning it up a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
It did say display proudly, so.
Alrighty. Alright. If that's that, then. The hours pass with philosophical debate, cleaning statues, and tiger petting. And come the evening, the sun begins to set behind the spire, and the light that leaks out provides another beautiful scene for all to watch. It's around this time that Lynn goes to take a walk with Balder. And if there's no objections, she heads on.
We don't allow Lynn to go on a walk.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Last time I went on a long walk, I bought you guys gifts. So, I mean...
I mean, that is true.
And she did just get paid money.
Yeah,
Again,
but
also true.
I'm gonna have to go pretty far if I want to buy anything right now, so...
Alrighty. Then you head on out. And you go ahead to meet a priestess by a waterfall, where the river comes about as the water rains down from the top of the spire. I'm glad you came. Now, you have experienced Barnhung's blessing. This may be different in some fashion. Many creatures who drink deeply of the water and the plants, which in turn consume from this river, they become something different over time. Nothing too drastic, but my family has a ritual which can expedite the process. Outside influences can change this, however. If there is some direction you wish for Balder to travel, then I suggest you lay it bare.
I think it's important to me that he changes, in some sense, as much as for the past few months. I mean, we encountered a dragon recently. There was a time when, I mean, I'm a hunter. I'm always on the prowl. And there was a time when I became the hunted. And that's been stuck in my head for ages. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like I've learned so much since I left my home back. I don't know. I found a home here. I grew up in a savannah and now I'm surrounded by snow and I love it after never seeing it when I was a kid. And that fucking Commodore. I hate that thing so much. Excuse me. But I don't know. I want him to. I've broken free of a lot of chains, and I want him to be free and escape in his own way.
Very well. Perhaps I can offer something to alleviate this in both fashions. One, to guide, and the other, to help you overcome hate and fear. Balder is precious to you, yes?
Very.
No matter his form, do you think you could harbor hatred towards him?
Never. He's my everything.
Do you have a token of the Commandant?
I do, actually. And she'll pull the little clump of fur. Oh.
To grant Balder freedom and to free your mind of the hatred you feel for that beast, we shall perform this ritual. She takes the fur from your hand. Now, Commandants take many forms. Which was the one that came upon you?
I don't remember what it looked like. Let me find the thing. There's the thing.
It's in the journal.
Yeah. Well, of course, it had the snake, and it had a mane. It was black with a white rider. It exhaled something that made me fall asleep immediately.
The dusk calmed down. I see. But a white rider, you say?
Baldur isn't dark like that, though. I don't want him. I feel like that gives too much of a sense of darkness for him, and his heart is lighter than that.
Well. Perhaps we can accommodate. The robe which he wears. What is your opinion on its coloration?
It matches mine, so I like it.
Perhaps that could be involved as well. Very well. Now, you will have to be involved in this. The two of you are interconnected, spiritually. And so, please, join hands with me in this ritual.
Okay.
Alrighty. She begins to cast a spell, and she touches you as well as herself and Boulder. She takes your hand and guides you above the river's opening, right before the waterfall. Small splashes of water go against you as you walk atop the water itself. Boulder follows behind and is clearly very concerned about not falling into the water immediately. Ambriel goes ahead and lowers him somewhat. So his legs are in the water, but the rest of him stays above. Very well. Please, repeat after me. Under the light of the moon, and in the name of paradise, we beseech the Imperial Lords for the change in us all. I assume.
The light.
I was going to say you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can just.
Oh.
Yeah, we can just go along. It's fine.
Wrote it so that I could. So, under the light of the moon, and in the name of paradise, we beseech the Imperial Lords for the change in us all.
All things of nature pass through the cycles of life. Some last longer than others, but all things must embrace the change.
I'm not repeating it anymore.
Okay, that's fine. Yet, we cannot be bound to a single form, a single life. For all things will come and go. But we may change that course. We may change ourselves for better, for the rest of time, for the betterment of the world. May we know that change now, before we pass on to our just reward in paradise. May the creature which we serve with, may Boulder become something far greater than ever before. And this goes on for a time. She repeats the words, and you follow along. And after each incantation, the water below begins to glow, as do your hands and eyes. You shift before the priestess, unwillingly. Shift between the heads, the forms. Return to your normal self. She is unfazed. And you've never felt your hands left her. Perhaps it was all in your mind. But Boulder, too, changes. The robe he wears, the fur of the Commandant. Your will for him to become something greater in the waters of change here. As the moon comes and goes, the dawn steadily arrives. And by morning, you take a step off to the side, woozy and a bit confused, tired from all that you endured. A great deal of energy taken from you, but seemingly placed into Boulder. As he emerges from the water as something different. He no longer bears the robe. His fur matches that of the tigers you see in the area. White stripes, white with black stripes, tinge of blue across his features, and great wings sprouting forth from his back. Shifting just below the surface of his fur, you can see blue serpents emerging, lightly hissing. But their faces aren't just like the snakes you saw upon the Commandant, but more draconic in nature. Reminiscent of the features you gained yourself. Now, this is no longer Boulder. He holds the memories and his love for you, just as before. But he is no longer Boulder, and must be given a new name. What name speaks to you?
I'll just take a few steps closer to him and kind of put my hands on his face, look into his eyes.
He looks back at you. Deep love resonates.
Ruidine.
He licks your face, and in turn, the bushel of snakes also lick your face at the same time. Ruidine, it is. Now, I hope you don't mind, but this was quite exhausting for myself. I must rest for a time. please, rejoin the others.
Thank you.
You're very
For
welcome.
everything.
Remember, if you ever seek guidance, or simply a place to call home, I shall be here. Paradise's arms are always open. Alrighty. So that's that.
That. There are not a ton of pictures of Commodons on the internet, so that's the closest one that I found. So I'm just going to use that one for him.
That's fine.
Actually, that's the pic. I was looking up pictures of a polar commodon because I was like, I wonder what this looks like, and that was the one I found.
Yeah.
And it's very hardcore.
He's going to be spicy.
I can tell.
And he's also a mount, so I get to ride him. So I am just going to slowly turn into the White Rider. Okay, so Lynn is going to head back to the rest of the group. With the Commodon walking behind her.
He seems to be struggling to find his feet properly. It feels like his center of balance has changed a lot. Those wings flap pretty erratically.
Maybe.
I guess as she's coming up, it's just like everyone's probably woke. Are we awake now?
Yeah, everyone
or is
be
it still
awake now,
really
yeah.
early in the morning?
It's dawn, so up to you guys when you want to go to sleep. Lyd never came back, but Athos is definitely awake.
Oh, Athos, how'd you sleep?
Great.
Athos, your back is sore.
Glad to hear that. You think Lynn went on another walk this morning?
Here. Okay, before you freak out, just don't freak out, okay?
Why would we freak out, Lynn?
NVIDIA, give me a perception check.
What?
I said, NVIDIA's give me a perception check.
Oh, I don't know if she just walked up with it and we're like, oh,
Oh,
shit.
no,
or-
don't worry, we'll get that. Just toss one out for me.
Got it.
NVIDIA, you think you can see something. Looks like a Commodon creeping up on Lynn. It's trying to it's half hidden, trying to hide itself from you. She doesn't seem to have noticed it. She's stammering a lot though.
Can I differentiate between the Commodon we fought and and obviously Baldur 2.0?
Oh, this is definitely not the Commodon you fought, but it is like Commodon.
Right. I just was making sure.
You're also pretty sure the Commodons are racially neutral evil.
Okay. As Lynn is stammering, I'm going to be kind of just nod, grin, and then as I'm sort of fake smiling and not looking directly at I'm sorry, is it Rahadin?
Ruidine.
Ruidine. She's going to be sort of fake smiling, and it's like, Lynn, be very careful and don't move. There's a Commodon behind you.
I know.
Oh, got it. Okay, so we can. I'm sorry. What I cut you off a little bit there when I was describing the attack that we should make. What were you saying?
I kind of created it? Question mark. I don't know if that's the right. Do you notice who I don't have next to me? This is.
Eat Baldur?
No.
Okay, so this is a difficult enemy.
No, the unasked kindness helped me make Baldur stronger. and he's not exactly Balder anymore. Like it's still him. It's just he's changed. His name is Ruidine now. But yeah, the Commandant's with me. He's okay.
Going
Infinity,
to
are you
sense
okay?
motive, Lynn.
Go ahead. It's either too early in the morning for this, or she's telling the truth, or it's controlling her of its mind.
Do I know if commandants can do that?
You don't think they can, but it might have sorcerer effects.
I feel like this is the same place. I don't think commandants control minds. It is early in the morning, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So that's Balder.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to make a vibe check on it. Specifically testing for evil.
Boulder passes the vibe check and it's not evil.
Okay. I'm going to check good, and then I'd like to check chaotic, if possible.
Ball doesn't radiate good, but it does radiate a faint aura of chaos.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. That's about what I checked on him before, right?
No, previously he was a
Oh.
tiger and was true neutral.
Oh, okay, so he shifted to chaos. Got it, okay. For some reason I thought he took after Lynn. Okay. Alright, you said his name is Ruidine?
yes.
Alright, I'm gonna put the glaive down. Just kind of extend a hand out towards the Commandant.
The Commandant is going to lick your face.
Okay,
And-
that.
Yeah.
It still has a rough tongue.
Oh, that's familiar. Okay. That is the thing that just happened.
That is a thing that just happened.
Alright.
How awake is Cattell right now? And Athos.
How late is it?
It's dawn. The sun has basically just risen.
Okay. Yeah, Cattell would have been up. Yeah, she's a person. I mean, she's handling it fairly well.
Oh, that's good. Right. Anyway, when you do your vibe check, when you look detecting good, you don't get that from Boulder, but you do get that from the little stone statue marble statue, which Cattell has.
Oh, that's interesting. By the way, Cattell, your statue is good.
Oh, you like how I cleaned it up? Does it look nice? Looks good?
Yes, that is what I meant.
I mean, it's a statue. Well, how else would it be good?
It radiates an aura of good.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. That's good.
That's right? Exactly. Well, have quite the menagerie between Ruidine and Thanatos and Coronas.
Now we just need to get Cattell and Video Pets, you know?
We got a horse. 2 horses, technically.
You got one really old horse and one normal horse.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, with this new little revelation and the rising sun upon the temple, with the visit to the spire, I think we shall call this week's session to an end.
All right.
Alrighty. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Philosophical debate, soul searching, and whatever divine rituals occurred.
All sorts of stuff.
Great session as always.
That's what I like to hear. So, while the session may be an end, I will ask what the general plans will be for the next week.
What is everyone's ideas?
It's been a month since we to travel here, right?
Roughly, yes.
I mean, I don't really have anywhere specific to go. There are some places I'm avoiding, which I told you guys, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine going pretty much anywhere otherwise.
I know Cattell may be avoiding someplace.
Yeah, kinda.
I guess it's a matter of, I know we've talked about going to Bordalia, which I know that there are some places there Lynn wants to avoid, and potentially elsewhere. Is there any preference? I mean, how about we'll ask you like this? For our own characters, Lynn, Athos, and Cattell, what do you guys? What do your characters want to do the most?
So Lynn is feeling pretty pathless right now because she pretty much just gave up on her entire mission to do stuff for her mother. So she basically just wants to avoid home and follow you guys anywhere at this time. Just because all she's known her entire life is to obey her mother. So now she's kind of like, I don't fucking know what to do. So
Fair enough.
she doesn't have any callings right now.
Shoot, Athos. What does Athos want to do?
I don't think I really have anything too pressing here to do.
All right, Cattell.
Aside from the things that he heard in the tavern, that might be worth looking into if we have time.
True. Cattell.
I mean, my intention was to go to Bajordalia, but I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily lead the whole party there. I feel like That's kind of selfish of me.
You have 2 followers at least, so it's not too selfish.
Mm.
Well,
What does Nvidia want to do?
NVIDIA wants to burn down the Hob Empire, but we're not quite strong enough to do that yet. And on the complete opposite side of the planet.
But Jordali is like almost there.
Yeah, it's like halfway there. So my whole thought is that it's on the way.
We could start traveling to Bridgerton. Words. And not really like rush. So if we encounter stuff on the way or go on other adventures on the way, that's an option. Because I know it isn't really far away. So.
Mm-hmm. So start headed towards Bjordalia. Hopefully avoiding people that may be looking for some of us.
Yes, routing is important for this purpose. Supposedly, there is something going on at the ocean with someone called the Queen of Storms. So that may not be the most practical, but walking through Helveski is the only other land route.
I don't think we can tangle with Asilla right now. We could talk to it and be like, hey, don't hurt us, please.
That might work. Yeah.
I don't want to risk that.
It might not even... You might not even come across it, guys. Like, who knows?
True.
Oh, boy. Don't fight Priscilla. Just a hot tip. Just don't do it. Just don't.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to do. If it's anything like, I don't know if you homebrewed it, maybe you made it weaker, but if it's anything like a regular Scylla, it's just not going to be a good time.
Yes, weaker with homebrew. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah.
I was talking to someone today about how sometimes, like, when we're in combat, we'll say we take a shot, and every single time I picture whoever says it to be taking an actual shot of alcohol. And the person's like, well, maybe you should just, like, start taking shots every time somebody says that and, like, make it a game. And I was like, if I told the DM about that, he would send 50 archers at us, and every single time he would say, the archer takes a shot. And we would all die.
Well, no, it's whoever says it has to take the shot, right? So then the DM would have to take a shot every time.
Yeah, but I'd still outlast you.
Yeah, he would. But no, he's evil. He would make us all drink, no matter who said it.
That's only for the drunk.
What?
That's only for the drunk gin. Short for drunk dungeon. It was a great thing to make. Trust me. The most overused rule was whenever the party gets distracted by inane bullshit, / gets off topic from the dungeon, then everyone takes a drink.
Oh, I did actually just come up with a thought for something. I'm going to send it to you, DM.
Okay. If you guys want to make plans for the coming week, that's also fine, but it helps me get a bit of direction. That all being said...
Right, no, for sure.
Yeah. I may not be available next week. It all depends on how available family is, because it is stepmother's birthday next Tuesday for me.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So, probably be heading down there. But, depending on COVID things, I may not be, you know?
Got it. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Regardless, I want to make sure I'm ready for next week. Oh, good. Just a second. Alright, I'll end the stream there while we discuss the rest of this shit. Hope everyone enjoyed the fun little religious / spire session. Have a good night, everyone.